For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns, that can hold no water.
That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. Watch it drip, drip. Watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. Watch it drip, drip. Watch it drip, drip.
Drip, 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 Christ's blood on the cross. Or should I say a tree? Galatians 3 and 13. He redeemed us from the curse of the law. That's why we spread in this truth. The new covenant has no flaws. The gospel, spreading the good news through your system. Yeah, you feel it right now. It was our people who had to kill him. Man, they should have piped down. They pierced his side with a spear and blood and water came out. Rose on the third day and his body was nowhere to be found. Where did he go? Where did he go? Where did he hide? Where did he hide? He's dwelling within. He said the kingdom is inside. Open your eyes, and remove that veil. The spirit forever. There's no trip if you burning in hell. No shit.
That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. Watch it drip, drip. Watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. Watch it drip, drip. Watch it drip, drip.
Many would say they Hamashiach. Pay attention, they just prophet lie. If you don't know the signs when they talk, you will be in the ditch with the blind. If you come sip on this H2O, I promise that you'll never thirst again. You know what I got is that straight drop. Cause my plug pushed it, yeah, they murdered him. Everclear, Hennessy, that's what the whole world be sipping on. Real Judah, my whole team, that's who living water dripping on. You hear that slow drip it to wake you up, and I let you go back to sleep again. In that water's where I find the prophets. I guess I'm something like a fisherman. Elijah had water through droughts. Higher put food in his mouth. He gave salvation to a Gentile, cause she left the prophet in her house. That means that drip is for everybody. Don't get caught up in religion. We need water to be purified. So how you got drip without baptism?
That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. Watch it drip, drip. Watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. That prophet got living water, watch it drip, drip. Watch it drip, drip. Watch it drip, drip.
Welcome to the Hebrew state of being. We are your humble servants and hosts for tonight. I am Kayel, and yes, it is Shabbat Shalom. Yes, we give our praises in this hour right now. It is Shabbat. And in the building with me tonight, I got the young hunter, the young warrior, Jordan in the building. Yes, yes. So we got a great night planned, man. You know, it has been quite a week in this world, right? It has been quite a week. And so tonight, you know, Shabbat is all about the kickback, after all has been done, after the world has beaten us up and we fought back at the world. Tonight, I seen a building, Alana. Yes, you was right, Alana. I was taking those two and blowing out, but you know, it wasn't working as best as it should have at that moment, right? But thank you for the well wishes and the love from everybody, you know. But like we said, you know, this week has been a week, and today, you know, we laid the brother to rest. I see Big Chief Kevin Goodman in the building, you know. So we are, you know, we're gonna do my young hunter, my young warrior told me it was a 2-song night. So we opened up with Drip Drip, and this one is for Mr. Lord Lazard, you know what I'm saying? Because he is on his way back home. Well, he is back home into Jerusalem, baby.
Yeah, we'll return again. This captivity ain't permanent, no.
Captivity and permanent.
I'm from Jerusalem. Hey, we'll return again. This captivity ain't permanent, no. Sitting on an album that'll change my life. Should I drop it? I feel the pressure. The Father is watching. I had to revise it. I was getting off topic. Started feeling myself. I was getting too cocky. If you humble yourself, you gon' be exalted. If you speak of the Savior, that's gon' make you a target. I ain't never scared. I'm just getting well prepared. If I wanted to, I could have been famous, but that ain't even what my aim is. Inspired by brothers on them corners, trying to warn us. That's real love. That's why you will never hear me diss a camp. A couple years ago on YouTube, I remember that I wasn't living right. Did he just say Negroes are the Israelites? Would I be this if he ain't answer the call? Ox said, remember the servant that hid his talent? You might perish if you forget about it. Do the works, rock. Yeah, I'm from Jerusalem. Hey, we'll return again. This captivity ain't permanent, they say. Where did you come from? I'm from Jerusalem. Hey, we'll return again. This captivity ain't permanent, no, no. 70 AD, right before the siege, there she was, a picture of modesty. Fast forward to 2019, her secret parts are discovered.
That's right.
And she is a byword, but slowly she's rising again. A world without end, the mother of us all. Yahweh Shalom, Jerusalem. Oh, stay repentant. Yeah, we almost at the finish. I tell them to hold on, we going home. Yeah, I'm from Jerusalem. Hey, we'll return again. This captivity ain't permanent, they say. Where did you come from? I'm from Jerusalem. Hey, we'll return again. This captivity ain't permanent, no, no.
Yeah. This captivity ain't permanent, y'all. And while we here, we got grace and mercy, man. When we speak right, talk right, act right, when we elevate our minds to see the power that we have, when we truly take the reins over our own lives. Yes, it ain't hard. The Most High is right there for you. We're gonna prove that tonight, you know what I mean? So that was from my brother Lord Lazard. He is gone home, and you know what I'm saying? He went in style, you know what I'm saying? So we are so thankful for the breath that we have in this hour. We are so thankful for our ability.
I photographed in New York and Philadelphia and Paris. DocuSign lets me take care of the business side. I can get release forms, master service agreements, all sorts of contracts taken.
Forgive me, guys. They knew they was gonna get a commercial. So I'll close y'all out. Just so we cannot be disturbed again. All right. So tonight we are dealing with the future destruction. You know, if you guys saw the video I did, you note that I stated several things. We're in end times. We have to realize the position we are in this hour, as we are under siege Huh. And being bombarded with all these new things, right? Everybody's now gotten over the transfer of government. Everyone has gone back to the fear of the vaccinations and this COVID-19. Everyone has seemed to want to push the envelope to get back to the way things were. Well, we've stated, since 2 years now that this time was coming. And now that we've gotten to this time, we are still saying that this is not the end of the prophecies of what the Most High said would be in this last hour. That yes, a lot of crazy things happened in 2020. A lot of unfortunate life was lost in 2020. A lot of things came to light in 2020 of what this nation is, what this nation is built upon, what this nation is about. For a long time, this nation and everyone in it has been walking around with rose-colored glasses on, so to speak. Uh, they have been wanting things to be a possibility, keep hope alive, so to speak. Um, that was the sentiment of everyone. Just the next day and it'll be all right. Just the next check and I'll be able to, and the next promotion or the next girlfriend or the next boyfriend. It was all about, hoping that things would get better or you would level up, to say the least. None of that is what it was at that time. What do I mean by that? What none of those dreams and aspirations that you had at that time can actually be come to fruition because the way you thought about it then was in the way that the world was, the way the banking system was. The banking system is no longer the way that it was. You thought about it as the way that people gathered normally, went outside without mask on, was able to touch people. You thought that maybe you had a business that would be able to thrive in that type of scenario. That's why everybody wants to go back to the way it was, but that's not the truth. The truth is that we're in a new world. The truth of the matter is that school systems aren't the way that it was. They're never going to go back to the way that they were. Business is now being done totally different than they were done before COVID-19 in 2020. The world and all the governments and all the giant business infrastructures, they met in 2019. If you see the video I posted of Event 201, they already met in 2019 to be in position to do business in this new world order in 2021. So when I say that things are not going to go back to the way they were, I'm not talking about doom and gloom of scripture. I'm saying that the reality of the government and the economic system and the educational system has totally changed from what it was in 2019 and before to what it is now, 2020 to 2021 and beyond. We have had a break. We have had a switch over, a change over. Now, for some of you, you may not want to, admit that. You may not be ready for that reality, but that reality is coming very quickly. When we speak about getting back to who we were and who we are as indigenous people, Martin Luther King told you at the end of his life that his dream speech was an actual nightmare. That was his words, that the I dream a speech I had was an actual nightmare now. Because the segregation, them wanting to be integrated into this society, was the downfall of our community. The desire to integrate with this other society was the downfall of our community. So at the end and right before he died, Martin Luther King stated that we needed to come back to our own community, economically, in every manner. So when we look at this time that is now being flipped over, and what should we be doing to be getting ready for this new switch over, this new world order, it is all about still doing what Martin Luther King discovered at the end of his life, and what many others have been telling us, like Lord Lazard and Jerome Smith, and so many of our other leaders in our community, that we have to start working with each other, spending with each other, and keeping our mouths shut, working with each other. That is the only way that you're going to survive in this new world order, because they're going to eat you up on the other side. The side outside the community, the integration, the thing that Martin Luther King said was the death of his community, will be the death of you. I told my son I would have to expose him tonight. I see my brother Shotgun Slim is in the building. Aran is in the building. My son has COVID-19. What? Yes, can you believe that? As I told my son, you know, if you take a shot, I'm cutting you off. That's just facts. See, I am mentally preparing everyone around me to not be around me if they have taken the vaccine, because it's a slippery slope into what is going to be the mark of the beast, because that's part of the New World Order. If you haven't read much or understand about the AI technology, and if you have not learned about the D wave, and I pray that you research this, DWAVE, just like D Wade, the basketball player, replace that D with a V. D wave computer. Every major nation, every major government in the world is developing or already has a D wave computer, and that D wave computer taps into another dimension, another state, another reality that they have no control over. That is a demonic state. They're going to tell you it's all kinds of states, but it's called D-wave, demonic wave. I mean, I don't know what more you need, but you know what? That's a real thing that's here. There's an AI religion that's already in existence. You have to understand that the AI that is coming in through your cell phones, your 5G, is part of the New World Order before the COVID-19 came around. Tonight on Shabbat, we are talking about Enoch. Enoch was in the beginning, and he had the prophecies of the end. Enoch was before Moses. Enoch was before Abraham. Enoch is not part of many people's canonized Bible. It was taken out and was put a part of the Apocrypha. But I want us to look at who Enoch was before we dive into his book. A lot of people will, explain Enoch and then just go into the book. I really want you to understand who Enoch was before you see these words. Yes, he was. That's exactly. The young hunter knows what Enoch was. Enoch was one of the first, if not the first scribe, the first one to write down the Most High's words. So let's read. Enoch is the ancestor of Noah. Enoch is a biblical figure prior to Noah's flood, and the son of Jared and father of Methuselah. You've always heard the term Methuselah, old as Methuselah. Well, Methuselah was a biblical patriarch and a figure in Judaism, Christianity, Islam. Having died at the age of 969, he lived long the longest of all figures mentioned in the Bible. According to the book of Genesis, Methuselah was the son of Enoch. So when you hear about Methuselah, this is the father. This is a man that lived 969 years. Yes. He was the antediluvian period. This means before the flood in the Hebrew Bible. This Enoch is not to be confused with Cain's son Enoch. Now, ever since the beginning of time, these names and doctrines have run side by side. In the occult world, in the demonic world, there is an Enoch who is, as it says, the son of Cain. And this Enoch that's on that side, which is always what we're dealing with, right? The good and the bad, right? The light and the dark, right? So you can look directly at Adam's seed of Cain and Abel as one side being the dark and one side being the light. Well, Enoch is a character in the book of Genesis who describes the son of Cain and the father of Irad, after Cain arrived in the land of Nod, which was evicted. I'm sorry, hold up. What was that? Yeah, the other Enoch. Hold up, I missed out where I had where 365 was taken. Is Enoch walking? There we go. So it says, after Cain arrived in the land of Nod, to which he was evicted by the Most High as his punishment for murdering his brother Abel, his wife became pregnant and bore Cain's first child, who he named Enoch. Now, Enoch on Adam's side was the seventh from Adam, right? So let's finish reading. So it says the textbook of the Genesis, of the book of Genesis, says Enoch lived 365 years before he was taken by the Most High. Now, Enoch is the first man known in history to ascend. So yes, before Yasha came, right, Enoch was taken up and not died. He did not die. He did not have a physical death. There was no burial site. There were no bones for Enoch. He was transcended, right? So the text reads that Enoch walked with the Most High, and he was no more, for the Most High took him. Genesis chapter 5, 21 to 24, which is interpreted as Enoch entering heaven alive in some Jewish and Christian traditions. Enoch is the subject of many Jewish and Christian traditions. He was considered the author of the book of Enoch. So Enoch wrote his own book. As we said, he was the first scribe, and also called Enoch the scribe of judgment. The New Testament has 3 references to Enoch from the lineage of Seth, right? So Enoch appears in the book of Genesis of the Pentateuch as the 7th of the 10 pre-deluge patriarchs. That's people before the flood. Genesis recounts that each of the pre-flood patriarchs lived for several centuries. Genesis 5 provides a genealogy of these 10 figures from Adam to Noah, providing the age at which each fathered the next and the age of each figure at death. Enoch is considered by many to be the exception who is said not to see death. Now, when we look at our cultures, we look at the Egyptian culture, we look at the Sumerian culture, We look at the Akkadian culture, which are known as the earliest cultures, right? The earliest civilizations in the Western Hemisphere, not in the Eastern Hemisphere, not in the Western Hemisphere, because as we know, there were people already here. So the history books that we have and what we've been taught in the Western Hemisphere is the history of the Eastern Hemisphere. Even though the Western Hemisphere was going and it was doing its thing, when the Eastern Hemisphere, being Christopher Columbus, the Romans, and so forth, when the Japhetic people came to the Western Hemisphere, they killed all of their history, they burned all of their books, and taught them to write English and then be the scribes for their priests. So, understanding that, understand that all the history that you have been given comes from an Eastern philosophy, Eastern German, Greek, and Egyptian backing, right? Being that Egyptian was a Greek settlement, Egyptus, because before that it was called Kemet, right? So when we have Egypt and we talk about Egypt in any form of fashion, that was during the Greek captivity and was called Egyptus, and their capital was called Alexandria. So these people in Alexandria, right? These people of Egypt, they were friends of the Sumerians, right? The Sumerians had old tablets. So the oldest tablet you have is what you have in the Egyptian pyramids, right? And you got the Book of Dead, and then you got the Book of Prophets. The book of I forgot the name of the other book that the Egyptians have, right? And then you have the Sumerian tablets. Now their creation stories, right? Their creation stories all go to the Hamitic side, right? Ham. Sumerians, no matter how much they give it to you as Greek, they were black. They were Hamitic. You know what I'm saying? They were the children of Cush. They were cousins of. They were Nimrod. You know what I'm saying? They were Put. They were Mizraim. You know what I'm saying? These were all the sons of Ham. These are the North Africans, right? So they were all the way into Turkey where the Ishmaelites were. The Ishmaelites were all of Turkey. That was your Persians, you know, your people of the sands, you know, and whatnot, right? So understanding that these two cultures, right? Samaria is the mix between these Ishmaelites, the Egyptians, and these Greeks that came down and the Germans that came down. So the Sumerians have their tablets that say that Enki is their god and that they were ruled by this Enki god, right? Which you find in ancient aliens, right? They'd say that they were ruled by Enki. And Enki, they had these different, they had 20,000 years for this god, living 20,000 years for this god, 100,000 years for this god. Now, Enki and them, they say that they altered man's DNA to be their slave to mine the gold for their planet. I just want y'all to understand where they get this from. When you watch Ancient Aliens and they give you all these ideas of aliens, it comes from the Sumerian tablets, which were the Hamites from Nimrod with the Ishmaelites and the Greeks and the Romans and the Germans that were up there that were already dealing with fallen angels, with cavemen and Neanderthals. They were already mixing their seed. I'm giving y'all all of this so you can understand that there's always been our story as a Hebrews. That we've always been the seed of the Most High. Before there was an Abraham, before there was a Jacob, before there was a 12 tribes, there was Enoch, there was a bloodline, and that we were a holy bloodline. Doing all of these other histories that were happening simultaneously, this is our history. When you look at the books and you understand that our knowledge and our school systems have given us Greek and Roman history and knowledge. So everything that they have reported that you know comes from the perspective of the Greeks. So when the Greeks came down into this cultural lands of Africa, Jerusalem, and Saudi Arabia, and Asia and Turkey, when they came down into these rich cultural places, right? They had no background, they had no history because they were from fallen angels, because they were the seed of fallen angels. They had giants. They came from giants. Don't you understand Greek mythology? It's not mythology, it's their history. Zeus and all these titans that went to war, Medusa with Medusa, yeah, with all of the snakes in her head. This is their history from fallen angels. They tell you mythology, but that's their gods. That's their history. Facts. Okay. So when they came down into the rich cultural Mesopotamia, right? Mesopotamia. When they came down into Mesopotamia, when they crossed over the Mediterranean Sea down into Africa to Turkey, to Saudi Arabia, to Jerusalem, right? These people then took over their identities and their gods. The Greeks took over Egyptian gods. I told you that in BC, 300 BC, that Egyptus was a Greek settlement. They took all the pharaohs from 1000 BC and before, and they made them their gods. Thoth became Hermes. Thoth is the god of knowledge for Egypt. And they say he came from Atlantis. White people say that they are descendants of Atlantis, but never knew about Atlantis until they got to Egypt. Herodotus, the great Greek writer, didn't know anything about it until the guy before him came to Egypt and saw Atlantis written on the Egyptian walls. But they tell you that they were the Atlanteans. Yes, right? So when these people came down, they took the gods of the fallen angels of Atlantis, right? When the Most High flooded everything, that killed the Atlanteans. That killed Atlantis. That was the end of them, except for this Thoth that came out and taught the Hamites, the Barbar, off the coast of the Barbary Coast. Thoth met the first Africans on the Barbary Coast. And from there, Thoth taught them all of their knowledge. When the Greeks came down, they changed Thoth into Hermes. And now your Catholic Church, you know they call their law? The Catholic Church, when you go to theology school, you are learning the Hermetical law. Y'all want to learn something today? So the Catholic Church doctrine is the Hermetical law, which comes from Hermes, which is the god Thoth, to the pharaohs, which was fallen angels. Bing. All right. So as we are understanding that the Sumerian tablets speak about these kings that were here and were running things for 20,000 years and 20 some odd thousand years, and Enki and Aniel and all of these things. Well, our scripture speaks of Enki in here as being a tribe of the fallen angels. Yeah, just you know what I'm talking about then, Shotgun Slim. So when we look at Enoch, and Enoch being before the flood, that means he was there during the time of Thoth, before there was an Egypt, before there was a Samaria, there was an Enoch. I went all the way around there so that I could prove to you that Enoch was here before there was a pyramid, before there was an Abraham, before there was a Sumerian, before there was a thing called Enki and aliens and globes called planets and universes and all of that, there was an Enoch. All right. So when we understand, so now it says, so he was the seventh from the 10 pre-deluge, which is the flood, patriarchs. And the patriarchs in the Bible, men defined, were Abraham, the son of Isaac, Isaac's son, Jacob, who also named Israel, the ancestor of the Israelites. These three figures are referred to collectively as the patriarchs, and the period which they lived in is not the deluge, the pre-deluge, right? So we're after the deluge. Then it says, um, Genesis 5 provides a genealogy of these 10 figures from Abraham to Noah, providing the age at which each fathered the next, and so forth. I think I read that part. Enoch was considered by many to be exception, who is said to see no death. Yes, I did read that part. Hold up. I'm supposed to be down here. All right, here we go. These recounts um, these recount how Enoch was taken up to heaven and was appointed guardian of all the celestial treasures, chief of the archangels, and the immediate attendant on the throne of the Most High. He was subsequently taught all secrets and mysteries, and with all the angels at his back, fulfills of his own accord whatever comes out of the mouth of the Most High, executing his decrees. Much esoteric literature, like the three Enoch 3, identifies Enoch as Metatron, the angel which communicates the word of the Most High. In consequence, Enoch was seen by this literature and the rabbinic, the rabbi, we don't rock with the Kabbalah, and the Jewish mysticism, we don't rock with any of that, as having been one which communicated the Most High's revelations to Moses, in particular, the dictator of the Book of Jubilees. So the Book of Giants is a Jewish pseudo pseudo pigrapho, yep, work. Nah, it's not. That's not. I pronounced it wrong. Pseudepigrapho, right? Pigrapho, right? Worked from the 3rd century BC to resemble the Book of Enoch. Fragments from the last 6, as many as 11 copies were found among the Dead Sea Scrolls. So why are we reading that Enoch was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls? Well, the Dead Sea Scrolls was way before the Council of Nicaea, right? That means that it was scripture that was read by Yasha, scripture that was there during the Abraham time, scripture that was there from the beginning. So it's found in Dead Sea Scrolls, in the caves, right? And Enoch, does that look like a Caucasian? Can you see it? Come here. You can't see it. You can't see it. That's old Enoch right there. Look how brown them hands is right here. Look how brown this is. This is your Enoch patriarch fresco. In the 14th century, that meant it was done in the 1300s. This is when this was done. Yeah, my brother Yuan, that's that Thoth, right? Definitely look up the Thoth and the Barbary Coast in doing y'all Shabbat. But as you can see, Enoch is a brother. So when we're looking at the bloodlines, right, and we talk about somebody that was here before the flood, right? This is saying before the flood, and he did not die, and he is the one that speaks the Most High's word, and this is the fresco that was done in the 1300s. That's right. This is the image that was passed down from the beginning of time. He was not whitewashed all the way up until the 1300s. I think that's pretty remarkable in itself. But neither here nor there. Let's go. I want you guys to really get my man Enoch. So the third mention is in the Epistle of Jude, when the author attributes to Enoch, the seventh from Adam, a passage not found in Catholic or Protestant canons of the Old Testament. The quotation is believed by most modern scholars to be taken from 1 Enoch chapter 1 verse 9, which exists in Greek and in Ge'ez as part of Ethiopian Orthodox canon. The Ethiopians has some of the oldest scrolls, and also in Aramaic among the Dead Sea Scrolls. Though the same scholars recognize that 1 Enoch chapter 1 verse 9 itself is a midrash. What is a midrash? Midrash is a biblical exegesis by ancient Judaic authorities using a mode of interpretation prominent in the Talmud. The word itself means textually interpretation study. So, meaning that these rabbis, these horrible men, these men that will burn in excrement, took the Most High's word and paraphrased it. Meaning they decided to reword it for the masses. So they're saying that parts of that one particular verse 9, they believe that that was extra words put in by the Talmudic German ones that took over our identity. Yes. And it says, though the same scholars recognize that Enoch 1:9 itself is a midrash of the words of Moses, he came from the 10,000 of holy ones from Deuteronomy. So they're trying to say that, yes, even though he says this, that it sounds like what Moses said. I said, well, Enoch was before Moses. Are they saying that this was written, could have been written after Moses said this? As opposed to believing and understanding that this Moses has only been regurgitating what the Most High has said from the beginning of time. That every prophet that has come back and has come after Moses has only been regurgitating what the Most High has been telling us since beginning of time. So that's why we're going to go to the beginning of time with this, and we're going to go with the book of Enoch, and we're going to read the first 8 chapters. Yes, my brother. Yes, you are. Very good, very good. I'm probably going to let you read chapter 4, so why don't you look at that chapter 4 and read over it, so when I'm ready to call upon you, you will already know it. All right. So we go. The parable of Enoch on the future lot of the wicked and the righteous. So as we are in end times, in the book of Enoch, we are at the future. We are that last generation that he is speaking of, right? Because why? How do we know? Because we have revelations. Why? How do we know? Because we have been we went through Daniel, and Daniel gave us a timeline and led us all the way up to where we are, right? So if you've been following, we all know that we've been going through Daniel and leading us up to these prophecies to the end times where we are, with the assistance of Jeremiah and Ezekiel and Isaiah as our precepts, right? So here, Enoch, before all of them, before Moses or Abraham said anything, the Most High gave him the parable, the vision of what it was going to be like at the end times for the wicked and for the righteous. Many times when we are in church, or because we've been in church all our life, we will read these scriptures and we hear about all of this hell and damnation that's happening to people, and we don't realize that, hey, if I'm being righteous, this does not apply to me. And if it don't apply to me, then I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of brain, a whole bunch of emotion, a whole bunch of on that. I'm going to focus on what happens for the righteous, because that's the way I'm walking. That's what I'm doing here. So let's go. The words of the blessing. I said the words of the blessing of Enoch, because it is a blessing, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous, who will be living in the day of tribulation, when all the wicked and godless are to be removed. And he took up his parable and said, Enoch, a righteous man, whose eyes were opened by the Most High, saw the vision of the holy ones in Shemayim, the heavens, which the angel showed me. And from them I heard everything, and from them I understood and I saw, but not for this generation, but for a remote one, which is far to come, which is far to come. Concerning the elect, I said, and took up my parable concerning them, but not for this generation, but for a remote one, which is far to come. And it says, be clear, because right here is telling us that it's going to be in a day of tribulation. Well, see, when our prophets speak, they use the same terminology so that we can connect the same prophecies. When the Most High uses the word, he's telling us, go to my prophecies about tribulations. So if I'm breaking down this chapter and I want to get a precept, and this is how you get precepts when you read scripture, you go to what it says. It says, wherewith did he bless the elect and the righteous, who will be living in the day of tribulation, the day of tribulation. I'm going to show you how we're going to do this, right? Because I want to show y'all how to search for precepts in the scripture. We are going specifically to Jeremiah 30, but I want to put this in because I want to show y'all how to find precepts, right? Let's say scripture on day of tribulation. Yeah. So it's going to tell you top 10 verses about tribulation in scripture. So each one of these will tell you scriptures that says about the day of tribulation, verses about the great tribulation, verses about the tribulations, about the tribulation. So it will pop them up for you, right? So you let's hit that one just to show you guys, right? Just to show you how the Most High goes, how he's seamless throughout scripture, and how we should look at the scripture as one story, right? So here in Revelations, where we would probably go, answered, Sir, you know, and he said, these are they who have come out of the great tribulation. They have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. The tribulation we know is when Yasha comes back and he separates the wheat from the tares. So it's saying here in Revelations that after we have gone through our trial and tribulations of this COVID-19, of these wars, of these dangers and pestilence that the Most High has said, then these we will get our white robes and we'll be washed in the blood of the Lamb, the salvation that we had the testimony of the salvation by walking in the way of the Most High. But these would be all the different ones that you could use that speak about the tribulation, right? Daniel, as we went through. But we're going to go specifically to Jeremiah 30. Yep. Oh, yeah. I don't want that. I want that 1611. Hold up. So it says here, verse 7, chapter 30, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So when we're talking about the day of tribulation, the day of Jacob's trouble, which is our tribulation of his seed, the day of tribulation when all wicked and godless are to be removed. And he took up his parable and said, Enoch, a righteous man, right? So now we drop back down and says concerning to our verse 4, or verse 3, I'm sorry. Concerning the elect, I said, and took up my parable concerning them. The holy great one will come forth. Why did you leave where you were? Now we're at verse 4 and you're not there. There we go. We need verse 4 and read loud.
They consider and behold every tree how it appears to wither, and every leaf to fall off, except of 14 trees which are not. This is D word.
D word is I think we have a different version than this one right here. Decidious. Mm-hmm.
Which wait from the old to the appearance of the new, for 2 or 3 winters.
For 2 or 3 winters. Yeah, see, that's the one thing about trying to pull Enoch from off of so your 4 is going to be different than this. So I'm going to just read it from here because the way they have the chapters broken down here is a bit different. That's right, we're still in chapter 1. I had you wrong, my brother. I was at verse 4, not chapter 4, and you read chapter 4, young man. You were on point. It was my fault. So we're on verse 4 of chapter 1, and it says, and the eternal Most High will tread upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai, and appear from his camp, and appear in the strength of his might from the heaven of heavens. And all shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake, and a great fear and trembling shall seize them unto the ends of the earth. And the high mountains shall be shaken, and the high hills shall be made low, and shall melt like wax before the flame. One thing we were missing, guys. Tell you, it's been a week. I just want y'all to bear with us tonight, man. It has been a week. I have to backtrack and do the shofar blast before we can really go into the scripture on Shabbat. I missed that, and I cannot do that. I cannot be out of order. So you guys, we're going to stand and blow the shofar, and we pray that the words that we speak tonight are the Most High's words, and that the Ruach HaKodesh consumes us, and that it is not us that speak, but his words that go forward. All praise. All right, let's get back. Yeah. Thank y'all for being patient, tuning in. So we are at verse 6, but we are seeing that the Most High in his last days, right? The Holy Great One will come forth from his dwelling place in the last terrible days, and the eternal Most High will tread upon the earth, even upon Mount Sinai, and he will appear from his camp. That's the clouds, right? When they got the little exclamations there, that's the part that they're adding, right? He says, and appear in the strength of his might from heaven of heavens, from the heavens of heavens, and all shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake, and the great fear and trembling shall seize them until ends of the earth. Now it says, and all shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers. The watchers is the important part that we want to understand here, because the watchers is responsible for your Jesus. The watchers are responsible for your Zeus. The watchers are responsible for your Pan. Watchers are responsible for your Baphomet. The watchers are responsible for your Allah. The watchers are responsible for your Thoth, your Anubis, your Osiris, your all of those deities and divinations comes from the watchers. Yes. Before they were called gods, before they were called deities, before they were called little g's, they were watchers. See, we're in the beginning, right? This is beginning times. The Most High created his five heavens, the earth, and Shemayim, and Shaul, right? This is the beginning. So these people, the watchers, were celestial beings. They were created by the Most High and had knowledge of the heavens. The Most High gave them a job. Their job was to look over mankind and to report back to him. That's why they were called watchers. The stars that are in the sky, those were the watchers originally. See, as we're going to go through Enoch, you're going to find that stars are angels riding chariots of fire. When you read Enoch, you're going to find that there's no globe. Yeah, we're not spinning. We're not spinning on a globe, but like Chris Rock say, we spinning, nigga, looking at rims, the shiny things. So the watchers, these watchers became your multiple god systems, your changos, your singeritas, your all these different gods that came down, all of the Vedas, right, of the Indian culture, the purple ones, the blue ones, the ones with 8 arms, Zeus, the ones, the giants, the Medusas, the ones that had all the eyes. All of these were watchers until they were put to the earth as their punishment. We don't have any mysteries about what the devil is and what his spirits can do and where they came from. We know where they came from. The only problem we have once you have this knowledge, right? Once you have eaten or bitten this true apple of knowledge, is fighting the own demon inside yourself. Because man is great. It is the God that you believe you are. And you have the ability to raise hell or to raise righteousness. You have that. You can take a gun and you can either go out and rob and kill, or you can go out and protect people. You have the power to take life or protect life. Just like our scripture said about our mouth, our tongue. It has the fire, it is the flame. So these watchers were set in place originally to be the mediator between man and the Most High. All right? But now we're talking about in the last days. So obviously these watchers have done something wrong, that when the Most High comes in the last days, that these watchers are quaking. and great fear and trembling shall seize them unto the ends of the earth. And the high mountains shall be shaken, and the high hills shall be made low, and shall melt like wax before the flame. So wow, so when the Most High comes back, he's going to be bringing flames. Mhm. Enough to burn a mountain. Enough to burn a mountain the way I burn these candles, right? So I don't think this whole thing about Jesus is coming to save. Jesus coming to serve, to judge. And then it comes, it says, and the earth shall be wholly rent in sunder. I mean, everything is going to be put underneath the Most High, and all that is upon the earth shall perish, and all there shall be a judgment upon all men, righteous, unrighteous. That's why y'all hear me say that in order for us to go to battle, we have to first face our own judgment. We face the Most High and face our own judgment. Then there is not a man, not a woman, not a government, not a anything that can deter us. As I said, my son found out that he had COVID. And I said to my son, how have you felt any different than you've ever felt before you got sick before? You know, any other time that you've gotten sick, did you have any symptoms this time that was different from any other time you had symptoms of getting sick? And he's like, no. So that means the same type of illness you had before, you felt right now. Yeah. I said, but what did you do in the past when you were not feeling good? You called either me or your mother. And we told you what things to do. Vitamin C, elderberry, black seed oil, vitamin D, get outside, get the sun, get you some soup, What made you this time decide to listen to the world? What made you decide to buckle to the world's conversation when you knew better from your house? It's the same thing that is happening here. The watchers didn't do what their father told them to do. We will face the judgment of our father when we say we follow all these other things to try and bring power to give covering to us. I needed that. My mama was praying to it. My daddy prayed to that. Well, I didn't want to pray to that because I thought that was bad, so I hopped into this, but I didn't study that. But I just went wrong with it. We're gonna be sitting before the Father trying to explain ourselves of why we knew better, but still we did what the world did. What the world makes you afraid of, what the world is saying. So because my son had people around him that gave him all this advice because they're watching CNN and they're watching all these other things, and they're being indoctrinated that, oh, everybody's dying. People are dying out of fat. People are dying that had existing conditions. People are dying because they don't want to take care of themselves. Now, people that have gland problems and cannot control that is something totally different. That's a medical thing. You have thyroid issues. You cannot lose the weight. But that doesn't stop you from eating healthy. You can still eat healthy and cleanse your body, get your body to be an alkaline body. Ain't nobody stopping that. So people are dying because America is unhealthy. Duh. America is absolutely unhealthy. And a disease came that attacks unhealthy people, and unhealthy people are dying. And what is your people talking about? Like my man Bernie Mac said, what is your people talking about? It's nonsense. Yes, people are dying. I'm sorry that they're dying. I'm sorry. You got loved ones that are dying. That's because they weren't healthy before they got it. So the point, to not get off that, because we're on Enoch and understanding the power that we have, that what was ordained from us from the beginning, that as they go through all of these history stories, all of these creation stories, that none of these creation stories amount to anything but the believing in fallen angels. That if it's not this story, then it's a false doctrine, a belief system of a fallen angel that wants to be God. Because what Hashatan wants to be more than anything, he wants to be the Most High. He wants to be exalted as the Most High. He is in his position because he wouldn't bow to us. He has pride. Pride comes before the fall. They got that from Lucifer. So, and it says here, all men will be judged. So we walk in accordance so that we are ready for the judgment. But with the righteous, he will make peace. This is why we walk to be righteous. You don't know the day or time that the Most High is coming. You don't know what pestilence he's bringing. As they're bringing out a vaccine, they have now two new strands. They will not be able to solve this. We're not going back to the way it was. Fauci told you that they cannot cure this, that this is going to be something everybody live with like cancer. But with the righteous, he will make peace and will protect the elect, and mercy shall be upon them. And they shall all belong to the Most High, and they shall be prospered, and they shall be barakas, blessed. So as I tell you guys all about the doom and gloom of iniquity and the death that awaits you, there's just a bigger glory on the other side. If you don't do the gloom and doom and death, if you don't let your flesh win, if you take and become that state of being, then you have nothing but blessings from the Most High that has been promised to you since Enoch. Before the flood, this was promised unto you. To anyone that is righteous upon this earth, there is a natural law that is supposed to take care of you that the Most High put in place. The same way that he put the sun and the moon in rotation, he put righteousness to be covered on this earth. And it says, and he will help them all, and light shall appear to them, and he will make peace with them. So a light shall appear unto us. Hasn't Yasha, our salvation, the one that's his son that came, hasn't he been mentioned as the light, as the way and the light? So when he says, I am the way and the light, he's referencing to Enoch. When Yasha comes and says that I am the way and the light, he is referencing Enoch. When Yasha spoke, he spoke of the past prophets, fulfilling the words that the prophets said, someone will come, a time will come, a change will happen. And when Yasha came, he said, I am fulfilling the words that all the prophets since Enoch, the first scribe, has said the Most High, the Creator, would do. And I am here in the flesh. Ooh. And it says, and behold, he cometh with 10,000 of his holy ones. When Yasha was in the garden with Yosemite, right? When Yasha was in the garden and Peter hopped up and he took his sword out and he cut the what? What did he cut off the soldier? Do you remember, Peter? Do you remember what Peter did? What did he cut off of him? Nope, his ear. If you cut his neck off, he's dead. He can cut his neck off. Right? So Peter hopped up and cut the ear off of the Roman soldier that was trying to put his hands on Yasha. And Yasha said, man, Peter, don't do that. Don't you know if I wanted, I could bring 10,000 angels? So this is what he's referencing. Behold, he cometh with 10,000 holy ones to execute judgment upon all and to destroy all the ungodly. So the Most High is not coming for the ones that are trying to be right, the ones that are killing their old man daily. the ones that's sacrificing, the ones that's on Shabbat, acknowledging him, giving him the honor, the praise, and the glory. Nah, but the other ones, and it says, and to convict all flesh of all the works of their ungodliness which they have ungodly committed, and of all the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. So what is his judgment? When Yahshua comes out the sky, what is he going to do, Jordan? He's going to do two things. His judgment is wrapped around two types of people. One, he's going to let your own flesh be the one that accuse you. As we read that, right? It says on the last day, your flesh is going to be the one to accuse you. So it's saying here that he's coming to convict all flesh. All flesh. Yes, you said the most well. Yep, doubting that you said, Aaron. People have been doubting his instructions since the beginning, but they all are falling into their own do as thy will. As it says here, that he is coming to convict all flesh. So when he comes out the sky, your flesh, not you, but your flesh is going to hop up and say, yeah, see your spirit that was in my flesh, your spirit, let me tell you all the things it did. And the Most High is going to convict that flesh. And then the second thing he's going to do, he's going to deal with the people that have spoke against his name, that said he wasn't real, that gave him new names, that refashioned it, that called themselves preachers, that couldn't follow his word. Oh, yes. Chapter 2. And it says, observe ye everything that takes place in the heavens, how they do not change their orbits, and the luminaries which are in the heaven, how they all rise and set in order, each in its season, and transgress not against their appointed order. So the angel is telling Enoch, look at the heavenly things, observe that the heavenly things being the luminaries. What are the luminaries? What are the luminaries? Luminary means to have light, right? So what luminary do we see? The what? No. What luminaries outside every day and every night? What's shining bright every day and the night? And the what? That's right. That's the two luminaries. The sun and the moon is your luminary. So what it's saying in here is that, look, Enoch, that you see how the sun and the moon stays in its order so that the earth can have its season and it moves according to the seasons that the Most High has ordained. How they change not their orbits. That means the channels and the directions that the Father has them, which are in the heavens, how they all rise and set in order, each in its season, and transgress not against their appointed order. Behold, ye the earth, and give heed to the things which take place upon it from first to last. So Enoch is about to be given a vision from the beginning to the end. It says, look and see what's going to happen to the earth from beginning to its end. And it says, how steadfast they are, how none of these things upon earth change, but all the works of the Most High appear to you. Behold, the summer and the winter, how the whole earth is filled with water, and clouds and dew and rain lie upon it. As my brother Yawan was saying, between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning, you can see the dew coming down from the heavens, from the sky. Yep, the light rain, the mist.
Like, it's almost like rain coming down.
Almost. It says, observe and see how in the winter all the trees seem as they had withered, and shed all their leaves, except 14 trees, which do not lose their foliage, but retain the old foliage from 2 years, from 2 to 3 years till the new ones come. It's your turn now, my brother. We are now at chapter 4. So now you can read that chapter 4 nice and loud. All right. You screaming, crying out loud for the Most High. Let's see how loud you can get. You get loud when you're playing. Let's see how loud you can get now. I'm ready.
They consider and behold every tree, how it appears to wither, and if leaf to fall, and every leaf to fall off, except of 14 trees, which are not fruitful, which wait for the old to the appearance of the new for 2 or 3 winters.
Right. So again, observe ye the days of summer, how the sun is above the earth and over it again. And ye seek shade and shelter by reason of the heat and the sun. And the earth also burns with growing heat. And so you cannot tread on the earth or on a rock by reason of heat. See, in my book, this is chapter 5, and they have it as chapter 4. You gotta see how these texts are different. Chapter 5 now, which in my book is chapter 6, and it says, observe ye how the trees cover themselves with green leaves and bear fruit. Wherefore give ye heed with regard to all his works, and recognize how that liveth, recognize how he that liveth forever hath made them so. And all his works go on thus from year to year forever. And all the tasks which they accomplish for him, and their tasks change not, but according as the Most High hath ordained, so it is done. So when we look at what is being shown to Enoch, it is being shown to him that no one in the heavens goes against the Most High. That the sun and the moon, the earth, the rotations, everything goes as he states. All trees except 14 that do not wither with the changing of the season, but hold their leaves for 2 to 3 years, and then they are renewed as the Most High says. And they are accomplishing these things for the Most High because it shows that the Most High does not lie. I want you to see how that all wraps in. The reason why the angel is showing this to Enoch, showing him that the covenant, that what the Father says will stay in place, that the seasons on the earth will continue, the sun and the moon will rise and set by the order of the Most High. He says, and behold, how the sea and the rivers in like manner accomplish and change not their task from his commandments. But ye have not been steadfast, nor done the commandments of the Most High, but ye have turned away and spoken proud and hard words with your impure mouths against his greatness. O ye hard-hearted, ye shall find no peace. Right. So when we're looking at what is blessed by the Most High, it is his commandments. When you do his commandments, when you try to follow in the righteous walk, you are blessed. He understands you're going to slip. He understands you're around idiots. He understands that he has brought the pestilence and he has brought iniquity upon this earth and that it is going to die. That's why he speaks about on the day of judgment, he's telling you, keep yourself clean as you can all the way. Endure to the end. I know it's not easy. I know people are lying on you. I know hard times is coming your way. I know you're being tested to make sure that you are my seed. and that you understand how to be a reflection in hard times to the flock, to the children, to the ones that I send to cross your path. When these hypocrites and heathens tell you that this image of our salvation, this guy they call Jesus, that he came and did away with the law. The law has been in place since the sun and the moon rose, since they were created. The seasons have been here since man was here, ordained by the Most High as his commandments. There is no way that he would allow us, who he gave dominion over this earth and over the animals, to be the one to break the law. That's the same as Hashatan. Lucifer did the same thing. He put him over all of his angels. He was the top man in heaven. He was the top musician. He was the one that gave praise unto the Most High daily. He was the most beautiful angel of them all. But jealousy and envy and not following the Father got him struck down on this earth to get his butt whipped by the righteous, by the Most High's righteous. He did not want to follow the Most High. Simple. So it says here, Enoch is being told by the angel about man, that man has not steadfast and followed his words, that he has been hard-hearted. So therefore that man finds no peace. Therefore shall ye execrate your days, and the years of your life shall perish, and the years of your destruction shall be multiplied in an external execration, and ye shall find no mercy. Oh, you want to see you got your crown that's going, huh? I like the way you spelled that Indian crown. Yeah. I see you, shotgun. Yes. So as we are stating that the Most High is saying, you, because you're in iniquity, you're going to perish. Do you understand that you have the ability to not perish, right? The everlasting life is something that you can actually have, that immortality that they speak about, the thing that the heathens are trying to find right now in this world with anti-aging and trying to figure out a way to put their thoughts and their soul, their spirit onto a chip so that they can just put it into a sleeve of another body so they can live forever. Well, we know what immortality is. We understand that this flesh suit is only a section in time. That when we are ready for judgment, that we are okay when this flesh suit is done with, like my brother Lord Lazard. He is now going to a heavenly realm because he has done the work. So he lives on in another realm, but he lives on. In those days ye shall make your names an eternal execration unto all the righteous. Let's because I don't want y'all to keep seeing this word execration and not have definition. Let me get this 1828 up for you. Execration, yeah. We're about to pull it up right now so everybody can see. Everybody can see what execration means, man. That's what I thought, execration. Oh, that's why. Execration. The act of cursing, a curse pronounced in imprecation, imprecation of evil, utter destruction expressed, cease, a Gentile queen, these execrations. So curses. So when you're talking about a Gentile queen, they call a Gentile queen is an imprecation, an utter destruction, is an act of cursing. Ooh, you know, a Gentile is anything other than a Hebrew, right? So that would mean any woman that's not a Hebrew woman would be an execration. I mean, by definition, I'm just saying by definition. Yes, an evil woman. Exactly, my brother. Exactly, young one. And so it says, in those days ye shall make your names an eternal curse unto all the righteous, and by you shall all who curse, and all the sinners and godless shall imprecate by you, and for you the godless there shall be a curse. When we look at Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, we talk about the curses that is to be falling of us, and that we know who we are, the Most High's people, because of the curse that we're falling under. That's because we're being ungodly. We're not following the commandments, the laws, the laws and the statutes that the Most High is asking us to do so. And this is being told since Enoch, right? And saying and all the blank, blank, blank shall rejoice. All the children of the Most High, the seed of Jacob, and there shall be forgiveness of sins, and every mercy and peace and forbearance. There shall be salvation unto them, a godly light, a salvation, a godly light. Yahshua, who came with the light, the way, who walked the righteous way. And for all of you sinners, there shall be no salvation, but on you shall abide a curse. But for the elect there shall be light and joy and peace, and there shall inherit the earth, and they shall inherit the earth. You heard that the meek shall inherit the earth. Well, the first time it was said that the righteous shall inherit the earth. The elect shall inherit the earth. So not the meek, but the elect. The elect are the righteous, the ones that stand on the rock, that cry out and spare not, that hold their ground. And then there shall be bestowed upon the elect wisdom. Oh, wait. You know what I'm talking about? When you are righteous, you become the elect. The elect gets wisdom. So the wisdom will stop you from being caught up in this world. Wisdom will tell you not to follow the world. Wisdom will tell you not to follow their propaganda. Wisdom will tell you that fear has no place in your temple. And it says, and then there shall be bestowed upon the elect wisdom, and they shall all live and never again sin, either through ungodliness or through pride. See, but they who are wise shall be humble. But they who are wise shall be humble. And they shall not again transgress, nor shall they sin all the days of their life, nor shall they die of the divine anger or wrath, but they shall complete the number of the days of their life. So you will have the full extension of life, and their lives shall be increased in peace, and their years of their joy shall be multiplied in eternal gladness and peace all the days of their life. So the longer we can stay out of sinning, the more and peaceful and the easier and the more blessings we receive in life. That's the game that we playing. Yes, there's boogeymans, there's there's spirits here, there's ancient history, there's lies, there's governments, there's all these things. But the only game we should be focusing on, is what, my brother? Is to be righteous. It's like you playing in the NBA finals. You got 30,000, 50,000 seats, people in the seats. You can't focus on the people in the seats to win the game. You playing against another team, the adversary, the devil. You can't be focused on the devil. You got to focus on your game plan and the team members that's on your team, making sure that everybody is staying righteous and following the laws of the coach, the Most High. We are going to run the play that the coach gave us. If we run the play and we block out the world, the stadium, all the people, we block out what the devil is trying to counter us, be the adversary, and run the righteous play, we're going to score every time. It may be a layup sometimes, it may be a dunk, it may be an alley-oop, it may be a 360 on them. It's all about how well you run the play, how well you are being righteous in your life. We in chapter 6, which is chapter 7 for me. That's right. So we're in chapter 7 though. And it says, and it came to pass when the children of men have multiplied that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. What does comely mean? Yes. You read this before. No. See, he's trying to make up stuff. He's pulling out the sky. Say peaceful, no calmly. Even though it sounds like calm, it is not the same. Comely is spelled C-O-M-E. Calm is C-A-L-M, even though they sound the same. Comely means beautiful. So it says the beautiful and beautiful daughters. You see, you can tell that they added things, but comely we know means beautiful. So the fact they got another beautiful here, we obviously know that whomever was the translator doubled down on it. Yep, that's right. And the angels, the children of the heavens, saw and lusted after them and said to one another, lusted, come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men and beget us children. All right, so now from chapters 1 through 6 is the vision that Enoch was given, right? He was being told that in the last days that men are going to go awry, that they are going to go wicked, and that the righteous will be saved, and that the righteous will have everlasting life, that they will not die. They may have a fleshly death, but their spirit will not die. Their spirit will live on in righteousness with the Most High. And if they're on earth before the Most High, Yasha, comes, then if they are staying away from sin and they're being righteous, the Most High will allow the length of their days, and it will be filled with barakas, blessings, and peace and longevity. Now, as we are in the chapter 7, it says here 6, we are now, the Most High is going to explain to Enoch how unrighteousness got into us. And here we're going to speak about the fallen angels. So it says, and it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and beautiful daughters. And the angels, the children of the heavens, saw and lusted after them and said to one another, come, let us choose wives among the children of men and beget us children. And Samaza, who was the leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and alone shall I have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered. So Samaza So Samaza, right? Simzaza, Simjaza. Let's say with a J. Simjaza. Simjaza was the leader of the watchers, the heavenly, the children of the Most High that were put to look over us. They fell in love with our beautiful, beautiful women, right? And they decided that, well, all of them was talking about it around the wine cooler, right around the cooler at the job, but everybody know there's always one that's really about it, and that one is gonna do it. And all the boys going to fall back. Some maybe ride with him. Some gonna fall back and tell. You know. So this devil or angel at the time is like, look, I know I'm about to do this great sin. These women is looking woo. So men, when we are talking amongst each other, and my ladies, I don't want to offend y'all tonight, but I must say to you, I have to point this out to my guys that if the women on earth could make angels that walk with the Most High break their covenant with the Most High, you don't think you as a human that was built to be with them, that innately has a desire for them, you don't think that you will break yourself? You don't think that you will go against what you know is right for a woman? Then you're lying to yourself. Yeah, because the angels couldn't keep themselves straight when it came to the woman. They, without a woman even whispering to them, they didn't even have a woman that liked them that was like, look at here, boy, you cute, yeah. They didn't even have a woman trying to holler at them. They wasn't even in the club, and they see the one from across the way and like, yeah, I'm looking at you, right? She's like, yeah, I see you looking at me. Yeah, none of that happened. These angels was just looking down at the women and was like, goodness gracious, the Most High know how to make a creation when he make it. And they said amongst themselves, without one flattering eyebrow or eyelash from a woman, without one sultry word from a woman, they decided to leave their heavenly habitation, come to earth and choose a woman. And you think women ain't got power on this earth? You just lying to yourself. I'm gonna tell you right now, I try to run away from women at times. Look at here, man. I'm talking to my fellas. Man, call me whatever, man. I will run from a woman, homie. If I know my spirit is feeling kind of, or if I just know that she got I got a thing for her, or she just got a twinkle or whatever, I'm trying to keep a distance a little bit. Yeah, I'm trying to keep a distance, you heard me? Because it's not an easy thing, brother. You ain't the only ones, brother. You know what I'm saying? And if you're in the house with her, and our women tend to never ever let up, right? So as a brother, even if you stand your ground and say, look here, all right, look. Come on now. We gotta get it straight. It take a lot for a brother to go ahead and get all of that up to get ready for that fight and lay the law. Now, an hour later, 2 hours later, she come right back at you again. You gotta work up all that energy again and say, look, didn't we just had this conversation? Look, this is a thing, right? This is a real thing that we fight every day, right? This is a real thing. We all have to understand by being humble allows man to be able to express to the woman why I think we should go this way. When a woman being humble can say, okay, I can do that, but I'm gonna need you to do this. And there ain't no trickery. It's an even swap. No, ain't no robbery in the trade free, in the even swap. Ain't no swindle in the even swap, right? Ain't no swindle in the even swap. But only through being humble will that man not respond to a woman like, no, I'm the king of the house, and what I say is what I say. He will let me, I hear what you're saying, but understand this is the position it needs to be at. A woman, if she's not trying to make sure her word is heard, if she's being humble, if she doesn't just care about winning the argument will humble themselves and say, okay, I see your point, but I do believe it needs to be such and such. Given to him humbly, he can't do nothing but respond humbly. If he doesn't respond humbly, then the Most High steps in. But if you don't believe the Most High is going to step in, then I guess that sounds crazy to you. That just sounds crazy. If you ain't got belief in your prayers, if you ain't got belief that you're dealing with another righteous person, another person that's being humble, then it'll be shown. Then you have to deal with it accordingly from there. You back away. But understand that these relationships that we are in, that even greater spirits that commune with the Most High, was not able to control themselves or keep themselves as they should be around our women. Period. So you have to be accustomed to being righteous. You have to be accustomed to walking the right way. That it's not that you have to get the energy to tell her no when it's time to be righteous. You have to be constantly being righteous so that when you have to stand on righteous, it's effortlessly. You do it like it's second nature, like you popping a needle, second nature. So Simzaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, let us all swear an oath and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, remember, by mutual curses, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swear they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were all, and they were in all 200 who descended in those days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon, and they called it Mount Hermon, because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders: Simzaza, their leader, Arakabir, Arakiba, Ramel, Kokabel, Tamel, Ramel, Daniel, Ezekiel, Barakajal, Asal, Amaros, Bartaral, Ananil, Ananel, Ezekiel, Zam Sapil, Seter, Turel, Jimjal, Suriel. These are their chief of tens. So you had 200 fallen angels that made a pact that they will leave the Most High to be with a woman. That's a lot, man. No, that's what the scriptures, I talk about, the scriptures talk about. Now we in chapter 8, and it says, and all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one. And they began to go in unto them and to defile themselves with them, and they taught them charms and enchantments and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. Oh, does that not sound like the voodoo? I wonder if Brother Shotgun Slim is in the building for this part right here, right? We're talking about spells, right? Yes, that's what roots are. Cutting of roots is making that, and making charms. You know, the voodoo dolls and whatnot. That's a charm, right? So, and yeah, so just like your Jesus piece is a charm, right? All these things were taught by the fallen angels, the ones that were once with the Most High, but now they fell, and they took unto themselves wives. Now you say to yourself, if they were an angel, how were they able to mate with women? Well, these angels had the ability because they were communing, since they were watchers and was supposed to be dealing with the man for the Most High. They were shapeshifted. They were able to shape into a human form. Yes, these watchers were able to shapeshift. That's why we have shapeshifters cultures in the voodoo, in the Congo, in all of these places that it should not be. Because this knowledge was understood. This understanding that these fallen angels came down into our communities and taught these lessons, these people that followed these practices, they knew exactly where they came from, so they know exactly who they're praising and giving worship. So 100 years later, 500 years later, 1,000 years later, you don't know that it came from these watchers. You think that you're just bringing about spirits. And you got enough propaganda, enough lies to tell you that these spirits are godly spirits, or spirits of the Most High. That these are powers that you can tap into that's been placed here by the Most High for our use. That's where the lies come in. After enough time and enough lies and enough people that give up on the Most High, that will choose the other side, will go and get powers from these rituals and these roots and whatnot, because they've given up on being righteous. And it says, verse 2 of chapter 8, and they became pregnant, and they bare great giants whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. So it ate all the fruits and plants of the earth of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. This is the first time you had cannibalism. And they began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh and drink the blood. And then the earth laid accusations against the lawless ones. What's another word for giant? Nephilim is correct. He is absolutely correct. Nephilim is the other word for giants, and that's what we're dealing with. When we understand in our history books that the men of renown are these giants and these children, do you realize that Alexander the Great was 21 years old when he conquered the world? You don't think he was a giant? You don't think that he was a Nephilim? You don't think he was a descendant of these people? What 21-year-old that you know that could run the entire world? That not just from an intellectual standpoint, but from a war standpoint, that this 21-year-old raised war against the entire Eastern Hemisphere and defeated it. All the way to Russia and China, Alexander the Great went at 21 years old. It states that in our scripture in Daniel, that in the vision that he received, that the he goat, which is the Baphomet, will come and knock out the two other governments, the Persians and the Medes, which was the ram. That was the fallen angel, the spirit that was in Alexander the Great, which was a child of these Nephilim, a descendant. And it says, we're going to go on to 9 because I'm feeling good about this. You're by 9? Did you try to say you want to read something? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm going to let you read a piece of 10. Here we go. Because this is really not 9. This is, this will be my 9. Here we go. And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the ark of the working of them, and bracelets, right? And ornaments, and the use of anatomy, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. And there arose much godliness, and they committed fornication, and they were laid astray and became corrupt in all their ways. Simzaza taught enchantments and root cutting. Armoso, the resolving of enchantments. Barakwel taught astrology. Kakobel, the constellations. Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Araquel, the signs of the earth. Shemasiel, the signs of the sun. And Suriel, the course of the moon. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to the heaven. So as they are teaching all these things to man, so that man can corrupt it, and as they are eating up the men and the women, as they're eating up all of the stuff, as they are gene splicing, because it said they profaned all the birds, all the fish, they did all these things, right? And that's how you had before the flood. All these things were before the flood. That's how you had Thoth that was half a dog and half man, right? Because they did all of these gene splicings. And then then Michael and Uriel, Raphael and Gabriel looked down from the heavens and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. And they said one to another, the earth made without inhabitants cries the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven. So the earth is crying unto the Most High. Because the Most High created the earth. He created the sun. He created the moon, the stars, all things. So as these fallen angels have come down and eaten up and destroyed man, destroyed fish, and made all these hybrids, the earth cries out unto the angels. Now the angels are going to the Most High. Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from the heavens, saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all the lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. And they said one to another, the earth made without inhabitants cries the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven. And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men, their suit, saying, bring our cause before the Most High. The earth and the blood of the people that were killed by these ungodly things and ungodly acts cried out, just as the Most High told Cain that the blood of Abel cries out to me from the ground. Ooh, from the ground. When you die, you are in the ground, and the Most High, your blood is your spirit, it is your life. And when it is spread upon the earth in your blood screams to the Most High. And that's what happened with Abel. With Abel. And they said unto the Most High of the ages, Lord of lords, the Most Highs of Most Highs, right? They say gods of gods. So you see the God of gods. There's a capital G and there's a small g when they mean God of gods. So he's the Most High of gods, King of kings, the Most High of the ages. The throne of thy glory standeth unto all the generations of the ages, and thy name, thy name, holy and glorious, and blessed unto all the ages. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou, and all things are naked and open in thy sight. And thou seest all things, and nothing can hide itself from thee. Thou seest what Azazel had done, who had taught all unrighteousness on the earth and revealed the eternal secrets which were perversed in heavens, which men were striving to learn. So we understand that we had the Tower of Babel, that they were trying to reach the Most High. These were the descendants, the Tower of Babel and Nimrod, they are descendants of these fallen angels. They are descendants because they found the words after the flood happened and Nimrod came about. You had Canaan, who was a child that was written out the book, that was a child of Ham, that found the book of the Watchers. At this time, the Watchers wrote their laws and ideologies on stone in places that we will never be able to get to. But after the flood, when everybody was given their lots, Canaan was told to go and find his lot, and he came across the writings of these watchers, and he called the spirits of these watchers back up, and therefore you got your Egypt, then your Samaria, because this dude Canaan, Canaan was the one that found the watchers' writings. And Noah found out, and they wrote him out the book of life. And it says, and now, I'm sorry, want to learn, verse 7. And Simzaza, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates, and they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with the women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. And the women have borne giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. And now, behold, the souls of those who have died are crying and making their suit to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth. And thou knowest all things before they come to pass, and thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them, and thou dost not say to us, what are we to do to them in regard of these? So the four angels, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, is giving their report to the Most High and saying, what do you want us to do? You've seen all these things. You knew this was going to happen. You have put everything into its order, but you haven't told us what to do. And we're supposed to be looking out for righteousness. We're supposed to be keeping it straight, and there's nothing but lawlessness on this earth. What are we to do, Most High? And we're going to read this last, I don't want to go too far into it. We're going to read this last part, then we're going to close out for the night with our Psalms 91, right? Yup. Yes, you already know. So the reason why we went into all of this tonight, why did we go into the watchers and the fallen angels? Well, we've been talking to you guys for quite some time that we're dealing with principalities, right? Well, principality means government. It said you deal not with flesh, but with principalities. Principalities is governments. These governments are run by the descendants of these Nephilim, these fallen angels, that they only seek to do sin. And the Most High is going to bring hell and damnation upon those for their original sin of sending man left and then continuing it. 91. So as we are knowing that we are fighting against principalities in this hour, and we know what a principality is, and we know where these principalities came from, then we should not refer to these governments as regular people when we know that they are demonic spirits, when we know that their government is a demonocracy, not a democracy, but a demonocracy. And in Enoch, the first scribe, the first book to be known to man, the first book before Genesis, the first thing to be known to man, the first thing written down, right? Because this was written before the flood. So there wasn't a flood, right? So the first thing ever written, and no, it wasn't in the 1500s when they created the letter J. No, it wasn't when the French created their language. It was before the French language. It was the language of the scribes, Paleo-Hebrew, still the language that we have to this day. We showed you the picture of Enoch being a black man. And this was a black man before the flood. And here they give you these images of Caucasians, of these Caucasian angels. But we know that Enoch is an angel in the skies. That is the one that speaks for the Most High. The scribe, that's right. So now that we've had the angels report to the Most High, now that we've understood the prophecy of end times for the wicked and the righteousness that was in chapters 1 through 6, we are really in chapter 11. It's saying chapter 10, but it's yeah, they got this thing all mixed up when they get this part. But we're gonna go through this chapter 10 real quick, and then, like I said, we're gonna let you guys out for the night. We are explaining where all of this unrighteousness comes from. Stop thinking that this is man that you're dealing with. You're dealing with a demonocracy in this world. That we are not dealing with people that will ever love us. We're not dealing with people that will ever do right by us. They will always do right by themselves because that's what sin is. Sin is the indulgence of one's own will at the expense of others. Righteousness is earning what is due for you, what is already in the heavens for you, as you do righteousness amongst your brothers and sisters. And your lot will increase. So it says here, then said the Most High, the Holy and Great One, spake and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and said to him, go to Noah and tell him in my name, hide thyself. Woo. So he telling Noah to hide himself. Remember when Noah was born, Lamech was shook because Noah was albino. That's right. Because Noah was albino and had blue eyes that lit up the room. And I don't know about blind hair, but he had blue eyes, right? And so Lamech, because he was black and because his wife was black, thought that this was a fallen angel, a child of the fallen angels. So he took Noah to Lamech, took Noah to his grandfather, Methuselah, right? To ask him what's the deal. And Methuselah, and I believe Methuselah and Enoch told him that the child is blessed and that the Most High has a time for him. He is the one that's going to build the ark and the flood. So Lamech tells Noah to hide himself and reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the whole earth will be destroyed and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth and will destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape and his seed may be preserved for all the generations of the world. So when we say that Hebrews have been here from the beginning, and that our seed is from the beginning, and that the Most High has been saving us from the beginning, that we are his inheritance on earth, you'll see here Noah is being given instructions so that we will be the seed that would follow, that will continue on. And he says, and now instruction him destroy the deluge, and will destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape and his seed may be preserved for all generations of the world. And again the Most High said to Raphael, bind Azazel hand and foot and cast him into the darkness and make an opening in the desert which is in Dadel and cast him therein. So when we look at where these demonic governments come from, Iran, Saudi Arabia, I don't know what they got over there, but I think they got a lot of sand over there, my brother. They got a lot of sand in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, the Arabian desert. That's right. So, and it says, put him in the desert, which is in Dudal, and cast him therein, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face that he may not see light. And on the day of the great judgment, he shall be cast into the fire and heal the earth which the angels have corrupted. So he's going to use, the Most High is going to use an angel to cleanse the earth with fire and corrupt it and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague which we're in, right? The plague, and that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed and have taught their sons. And the whole earth has been corrupted, and the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. So Samsaza, who was the leader, right, that got them all to go down and mate with a woman, he wasn't the one that the Most High said to put all the sin on, to put it on Azazel. Azazel was doing some wild things, right? To him ascribe all sin, and to Gabriel said the Most High, proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication, and the children of the watchers from amongst the men, cause them to go forth, send them one against the other, that they may destroy each other in battle. So when we're hearing about the wars in end time, that is what the Most High wants. He wants these people to come and battle themselves, because they've only been about demonic actions. So when the Most High brings all these different doctrines that are all demonic doctrines to want to fight over their demonic doctrine, that is the prophecy of the Most High. And the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. And it says, so proceed against the bastards and reprobates fornication. Yeah, I got that. And destroy the children of fornication and the children of watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth. Send them one against another, that they may destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have, and no request that they, i.e., their fathers, make of thee shall be granted unto their fathers on their behalf. For thy hope to live an eternal life. So no prayers are going to be heard by the heathen, and that each one of them will live 500 years. And the Most High said to Michael, go bind Shemaiah and his associates, who have united themselves with women, so as to have defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanness. And when their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth. So, after the earth was flooded, right, because of the deluge came, the Most High bound these people. Remember, one was in the desert. Now the Most High is telling him the rest of them to have them in the valleys of the earth for 70 generations. That's not 70 years. That's generations. That's like 700 years. A generation, if they were living 100 years old, that's one generation in that lifetime, right? The lifetime of that one person. I have a son. That's my son's generation. So my generation is the era in which I live, right? So it says, till the day of the judgment and of their consummation, till the judgment that is forever and ever is consumed. In those days, wow, young man, in those days shall be led off to the abyss of fire, and the atonement of the prison in which they shall be confirmed forever. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from thenceforth be bound together with them to the end of all generations, and destroy all the spirits of the reprobate and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. The Most High is going to do all these things because of mankind. Not funny. You know what I'm talking about, right? Not funny. We're always teaching the kids, man. Always teaching the kids. Mhm. And who shall be condemned and destroyed will from thenceforth be bound together with them to the end of all generations, and destroy all the spirits of the reprobate and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind, destroyed all wrong from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to the end. Let every evil work come to the end. Again, the Most High gave us a set times why we have revelations. The Most High allowed there was a certain amount of people that were to come to the earth. The Most High was not going to stop what He put in motion because Lucifer and because man could not get themselves together. The Most High has a prescribed amount of time for man to live on the earth before He comes. So here, the Most High is giving His instructions for these people to be bound until the day of that judgment. And it says, to the come to an end, and let the plant of righteousness and truth appear, and it shall prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth, the what? The works of righteousness and truth shall be planted in truth and joy forevermore. And then shall all the righteous escape, and shall live till they beget thousands of children, and all the days of their youth and their old age shall they complete in peace. So they can beget thousands of children, right? And then shall the whole earth be tilled in righteousness. And y'all know what tilled mean when you break up the earth so that you can plant something. So then the whole earth is going to be tilled and planted with righteousness, and shall all be planted with trees and be full of blessings. And all desirable trees shall be planted on it, and they shall plant vines on it. And the vine which they plant therein shall yield wine in abundance. And as for all the seed which is sown therein, each measure of it shall bear 1,000, and each measure of olive shall yield 10 presses of oil. 20, and cleanse thou the earth from all oppression. Most High says, not only once I take Azazel, who I bound with all these rocks, when the end time come, I'm going to let his fire, I'm going to douse him in fire. That's going to cleanse the earth, while my light, my salvation is passing judgment on all the flesh on the earth, and the blood is rising to the horse's bridle. That's the judgment, yes. When all that is happening, all the earth is being cleansed, and the righteous shall be exalted, and they shall be as a plant. Then the Most High is going to plant all the trees, fresh trees for us. Everything is going to be brand new. And these vines, these trees are going to yield more food, more abundance than we can imagine, right? And it says, and cleanse thou the earth from all oppression, and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin, and from all godlessness. Excuse my hiccups, y'all. And all the uncleanliness that is wrought upon the earth, destroy from off the earth. And all the children of men shall become righteous, and all nations shall offer adoration and shall praise me, and all shall worship me, and the earth shall be cleansed from all defilement, and from all sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment, and I will never again send the angels upon it from generation to generations and forever. That's what we're gonna hold up. Yes. Make sure. Yeah. So that's 11. That's 12. So yep. So 11 is 12. Yep. So we ended right here. So we're gonna end out Enoch right there. If you are following in the Sefer, then you know that we just completed chapter 11 in Enoch. So we've gone from 1 to 11 in Enoch, right? Peace and So I'm going to read my little 11 right quick. And it says, in those days I will open the treasures of blessings which are in heaven, that I may cause them to descend upon earth and upon all the works of the labor of men. Peace shall, yeah. Well, now in this Enoch book, actually, when I finish off on here for generation to generation, it's ending chapter 10. And then I guess I don't know why they got the 11 right here. I guess it caught back up because 11 does say, and in those days I will open the store chambers of blessings that are in the heavens, so as to send down upon the earth over the work of the labor of the children of men, and truth and peace shall be associated together throughout all the days of the world and throughout all the generations of men. So, what we read in the first 11 chapters of Enoch is that Enoch was given a vision by the Most High before the flood that spoke of all the iniquity and all the things that would happen unto us. Then in 7, the Most High explains to Enoch that all of this sin is because of his fallen angels that he had put in place to watch over us, that they came down with the women and mated with women and taught man and women all of the things of war, of diamonds, of jewelry, of war, of swords, of breastplates, and all these things. And that the Most High then bound all of those angels, flooded the earth, right? And that the Most High says, now from this flood, that man is going to have to fight against these spirits and the things that were done by these angels. And that the ones that can endure during this time, during their generation, by being righteous, that I will cover them. Even though I know my angels came down and did all this iniquity, that if my children stay righteous and choose me, that I will keep them clean through the pestilence and how I deal with all of these sinful people and ungodly people. So we showed those demons. It showed who they were. It showed what angels, the 4 angels, Uriel, Gabriel, Raphael, and Michael, right? To come and bound and take care of the 4 archangels, right? Came and bound them and got the earth back in order. And now it's the ones that are listening for us. They are now watching for us, as you'll find Uriel was the one that spoke to Ezra most of the time and gave Ezra his visions and explained the visions unto Ezra. And he also was with Daniel. So Uriel was with Daniel and with Ezra. And you'll find that Raphael was with Tobit, right? So you'll see that all these different all these 4 archangels have played out through all of our scriptures as helping man. And then, as you see, after getting out of chapters 9 and 10, after the bounding, now the Most High is saying that how he's going to bless and how he's going to keep us after he destroys the world. That this destruction and his judgment is coming forth. And then from there, all that we do will be full of barakas, all that we labor, everything will be done for our good, which we also read in Jeremiah chapter 30, verses 18 through 24. 18 through 24 says that we will inherit the earth. The elect, as Enoch said, the elect will take over the earth after Jacob's trouble. And as we saw in the beginning, it said that Enoch's prophecy was for the end times, the day of tribulation. So I want to tie all that in for you guys. And I see you in the building, Big Chief Flag. I want to tie all of that in for you guys to understand this Enoch, because as we come out of Daniel talking about the revelations, we are now dealing with the Enoch and explaining how it started from the beginning, which we also got the prophecy of Revelations from the beginning with Enoch. So when people are talking about these revelations as if it was brand new when John came around, and should we listen to him because it was during the time of the Gospels, it's the New Testament. Well, this stuff that's in Revelation was written not in the Old Testament, but in the book of Enoch before the Old Testament, before Moses and the Torah. So I just want to give some of our people out there that are searching to know that they are following the right thing, to want to know what's the beginning. What happened in the beginning? Forget all the lies that we know. What was in the beginning, and then I'll decide if I want to rock with the lie, if I want to continue to try and work on this truth. Well, that's what we are here for at Hebrews, to the being, going to the beginning, breaking down how this thing broke down in the first place, and how we can keep our grace and mercy in this time and be covered in this perilous time. Yes, I'm about to go to some. After what you did, I don't even know why you asking me about reading something. That was just wrong what you did. You know, you could have got up though. You didn't get up, did you? You just let it happen, huh? Right. That's what I'm talking about. Mhm. Yeah. She talking to this boy. I done passed him songs. Hold up. We always gotta look at what we do. We know life happens, things happen that we can't control. What do we do with the things we can't control? How do we best um, deal with it? How do we handle the things that come upon us that we can't stop it from happening? Then we do what we can to be mindful of others, to be righteous around others. You know, that's what we do. So Psalms 91 is going to speak to that work, to that labor, right? To what Enoch is spoken about. This is Psalms, this is David's writings, right? This is way after Enoch came, right? So he's going to double down on the same thing that Enoch has said and what the Most High has told the angels to Enoch about our salvation and our covering if we stay righteous. All we got to do to miss all these pestilence, all we got to do to miss these diseases, all we got to do to miss these war and this drama is to be righteous. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. What? He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High? Where is the secret place of the Most High? Prayer. It's in the unseen world. The secret place of the Most High is the unseen world. That's the magic. That's the voodoo, right? See, the Most High is right there. And if you're under his shadow of the Almighty, if you're in his prayer, I will say of the Most High, he is my refuge and my fortress, my Most High, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, from the adversary, from the demon, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, chawa, and under his wings shalt thou trust. This truth shall be thy shield and buckler. So it's saying the Most High is going to be our shotguns, going to be our pistols, going to be our swords, going to be our semi-automatics, going to be our AKs. It's going to be our 223s. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that fleeth by day, that's bullets, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. And thousands shall fall by the side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come close to thee. It is being told to y'all that this is going to happen. People going to die left and right of you. That doesn't mean you're supposed to forget about who the Most High is and go take some damn vaccine. That don't mean you're supposed to go and now vote. Stop going into that the fear factor. The Most High says, I'm going to make all these things happen. All you got to do is stay righteous and it ain't going to touch you. Test the Most High. You already getting tested when you out there. You already getting touched by the world when you out there. Why not trust in the Most High and call him on his word? Say, if I follow you, if I rock with these commandments, show me that ain't nothing going to touch me. Because the way I do things, I'm getting touched all the time. Now, know the difference between getting tested and being touched. Touch is when you lose everything. People run out the house. You know, they call it when mad day come. That's being touched. Being tested, you're going to get vexed. You're going to be tried. You're going to have trials and tribulations so that you can stand up and be the reflection and say, nah, I rock with the Most High. I'll leave it in his hands so that everybody can see. That's how it's supposed to be. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come close to thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Oh, so if you stay righteous, then you get to watch the wicked fall. You get to see them fall by the sword. You get to see them say, man, hold up. Adam, man, Aaron, I know I thought I was right, but Aaron, man, come on, help me, talk to me. Look here, Slim. I know we got down and did dirty and changed our state, and I told you that you was wrong for leaving on the dirt that we do, bro. But man, right now, man, the dirt ain't working. I can't get no job. I can't find no money. I can't hit no lick. And all you're gonna be able to tell them is, man, hey, all I did, the reason why I'm okay, or the reason why I'm good, I ain't, because I've been, righteous in my steps with people, with the way that I talk to people, the way that I do business with people, the way that I ask for things, the way that I take defeat, the way that I take disappointment, the way that I take being screamed at, the way that I take all things. I take it in the state of being of the Most High. So because of that, because I'm humble and I take these licks, I'm okay. I'm covered. Yeah, I got vexed a little bit. Yeah, maybe I went to bed upset at some people, but I woke up thankful that I was breathing and I got it right. And I loved them, and then they loved me, and then everything seemed to be all right. And the day before, this don't mean to make sense no more. See, that's the type of things that happen supernaturally for you when you walk in righteous. You know what I'm saying? It just all be good. You know what I'm saying? And so it says, because thou hast made the Most High, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation, because we keep a state of mind of the Most High, we are in a habitation with the Most High as we are meditating on his words, on Psalms, as we are sacrificing from the world on Shabbat and not out in the streets, that we are not, you can have a drink on Shabbat. The Most High tell you that you can have a strong shot or strong drink on Shabbat. You're not supposed to be drunk. You can get your little tips and take your butt to sleep and be thankful and then read some scriptures. We ain't talking about choir boys here. Anybody telling you that you got to be on Shabbat night in the corner? Come on, say how many ones. Most High say, enjoy the fruits of your labor. Kick back with your feet up. Put on some AOC network. Put on Truth Unedited. Pull your little something and think about the Most High and relaxation. It ain't about being in prison. Oh man, I gotta break out the Bible, man. Y'all leave me alone. This Shabbat. I gotta read my Bible. The Most High gonna get me, man. Most High gonna strike me down. I got to be reading for 24 hours. I got to. Man, you better kick your feet up and enjoy your people, man. You better be thankful because you worked all week for him. All week you had idiots coming at you and you, I praise the Most High. I'm going to let that ride. I'm just going to do what I got to do, and it's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? All week you done did that. You done dealt with crazy bosses. You done dealt with crazy husbands and old ladies, and you done dealt with homeboys that's out here that's talking crazy. I done dealt with my son talking about and I got COVID, Dad. I'm sitting here, look, I'm telling y'all, I'm about to pour me a glass of wine. All right, it's been a week. All right, I'm trying to tell you, you better kick back and learn how to relax with the Most High. You better learn how to kick back and relax with the Most High. I know that them Baptist pork chop preachers and the priests and told you that you got to be all, you're in the house of the Lord now. Nah, you better sit back because the Most High see you when you take that suit down, when you leave out the church and you go get the big piece of chicken and you looking at your homeboy's wife with her fine self to serving the food. The Most High right there with you. Yeah, he ain't left. I know you think you out his house, so therefore he don't see you, right? He does see you, right? He absolutely sees you. So you better learn how to enjoy your downtime with the Most High. Like my brother, I'm gonna tell you, my brother Elan, man, sent me a fire playlist of Hebrew songs. Man, when I first got in this walk, it was hard to find artists that was saying the Most High or giving it up to the Most High, to where them days when you get low, when you would normally go and grab you some Tupac or grab you some DMX, and about to make me lose my mind up in here right before you will gravitate to that to try and calm your spirit, to put you in a new state. But now, man, we got so many people waking up across the world. These dry bones are, oh, these dry bones are living. That now, man, you can actually put on playlists, and you can go to Mr. Hebrew One. I think it's Mr. Hebrew One TV, and he's got a radio station that plays 24-hour Hebrew music from R&B to rap. And then you got, like I said, my brother Aaron sends me these playlists off of YouTube. People I never heard before. I'm like, man, where all these people came from, man? Like we in the building. Like it really makes me feel like, man, the Hebrews is waking up in this hour. So, man, just sit back with you with a sip of wine, man, something light, do it real pimp style, not pimp in the sense that you think, but provide information mentally, player. You know what I'm saying? Provide information mentally, player. So, wrap yourself a taste, relax with the Most High in the Shabbat. Talk to him like you talk to your best friend. And when people walk in the room and see you talk and say, what are you talking to? Me and the Most High, don't trip. Me and my man, me and my Creator, we having it. And for women, that's my girl. You know what I'm saying? Because the Creator's not a man or woman. Me and my girl is having our conversation. We's working this out. You know what I'm saying? And my brothers, we's working this out. Me and the Most High, right? You dig? That's what Shabbat is about. To rest and commune. Even the young warrior know, when I say communing, man, we're not talking about hating yourself, beating yourself on the back. We're talking about relaxing and letting these words be a comfort to you, not a rule book or a discipline book. Man, know that this. Yeah, man. So let's get back to it. Saying the story says, because thou hast made the Most High, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation, there shall no evil befall me, neither shall any plague come near me, near thy dwelling. You heard me? Why? For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. Thou shalt bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. So what is it saying right here? It's saying that if you are doing righteous, the plague will not come near you. And I just told you that my son got the plague. So is my son doing righteous right now? Obviously not. No. No. So what was my conversation with my son? Cleanse your body. What are you doing? And he just don't know. We're going to have some more conversation tomorrow. But these pestilence hit you because you either around these people that's in this world and you're not protecting yourself from these people and you all around them, or you're not doing righteous. And the Most High say, I need to touch you. I need to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? That's right, Shotgun. You sow with the Most High. You dig? So when we look at these things that happen to each other, acknowledge the Most High. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, because my son work in the service industry and he's in restaurants and around people, that's why he got it. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say my son is not reading his scripture. My son is not doing the things that he needs to be doing. If I get COVID, I'm around the wrong people because you know what? I am reading my scripture. I am doing the best that I can. So if I get COVID, it is because I've subjected myself to some iniquity people. I've been around some people that ain't right. And the Most High telling me some things. Get right. Because I believe these words. The man says, the Most High says, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come near thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. And what does he mean here? It said that the angels is going to watch over you and give the Most High your messages unless you dash your foot against a stone. That means that you start getting into iniquity. You start believing the world. You start desiring the world. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder. That means that we shall walk on lions and snakes. The young lion is the dragon, shalt thou trample under feet. So it says the young lion and the dragon, the snake, shall you trample under your feet, because he has set his love upon me. Therefore will I deliver him. The Most High says, because you love him, he will deliver you. I will set him on high, because he had known my name. Yes, that's right. And he shall call upon me, and I shall answer him. I will answer him. Y'all gonna answer the Most High? I pray that you answer him when he calls you. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. Ooh. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. The Most High says, if you answer his call, he shall answer. And he will be with you in your troubling times, and he will deliver you, and he will honor you, and he will give you long life and satisfy you in the salvation. I give all praises, man. That is our show for the night. Our Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I pray that you understand Enoch, because Enoch is coming from the supernatural spiritual level. He's saying that man is corrupted by spirits. We're saying right now that in this day, that is the thing that holds us from being with the Most High, spirits. These spirits come in different forms. These spirits come in the form of false idols. These spirits come in the form of priests. These spirits come in the form of governments. These spirits come in the form of no good companions. These spirits come in the form of no good friends. These forms, they come in many forms. Most High comes in one form. Righteousness don't have 25 faces. Righteousness has one face only. It has only one judge, one creator. So remember that. We give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High. Shabbat Shalom, me Shalom. And let's give y'all a song to go on out of here with. We gonna put that boy, because that ambition of a rider tonight. We got ambition of riding with the Most High. Huh? Play Inyan. Which one, Inyan? Well, my young warriors asked for an Inyan song, so we're gonna do this. Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna pull up Shotgun Slim, since we're gonna roll out like that. Since my little nephew asked for a song, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if this is the one. Inyan's coming. Yeah, Inyan said, boy, look at that Shotgun Slim. My little nephew requested your song. You know we be playing you then, right? My nephew requested your song. I think this is the one. Let's play Inyan. I think that here they come. No, Inyan's coming. There you go. Inyan's coming. That's it. Here we go. Yeah, so everybody check out Shotgun Slim album, man, when y'all get a chance. Inyan's coming. Tuba Fat, little cousin, you heard? So, yeah. Shotgun. That's a good selection right there, young Hannah, young soldier. Strong. Terrible. Respect. That's my little nephew. I want to get your voice to face recognition.
Inyan's coming.
Coming in righteousness, baby.
Inyan's coming.
He's coming in righteousness.
Inyan's coming. Inyan's coming. Uptown Inyan.
Yeah.
Downtown Inyan. West Bank Inyan.
Bye, man.
Mardi Gras Inyan.
Yeah. together, baby.
Indians coming.
Peace with the Father, that is
Indians coming.
right?
Nobody running.
Right?
Make no hoomba. We don't know how.
What my brother got on?
Early in the morning. Up early that morning. My ball ready. I got my machete. Unade. Unade. What they say. We on our way. Downtown Indian. Uptown Indian. West Bank Indian. Back to town Indian. Lord, I'm pretty. My big chick pretty. My whole gang pretty. We the best in the city. Hey mama, I kiss my mama. Mommy, I'm ready. Just like my daddy. I kiss my daughter. I hug my son. Grab my gun. Let's have fun. Jockey Mo. I'm jacking my fina like Hurricane Katrina.
That's right. So why we do this? Because we want everybody in our city to get that everlasting life, that salvation.
Indian.
We want to be the light of all of us. When we get it right, we will be the champions of all North America. New York gonna follow. California gonna follow. Texas gonna follow. Texas gonna follow. All to do it. All together is one. Ain't no
Downtown Indian.
Y'all don't understand.
West Bank Indian.
Y'all don't understand, right? The whole world follow what we do. We're gonna show y'all. Look at where they came from. Look at before the Civil War. Look at who was the number one force. And everything came from the war. Everything came from Louisiana, Mississippi. Don't get it twisted.
Indian. Indians coming. We hit the streets by any means necessary. We won't turn around. We ain't never scary. They call the police. St. Joseph night. Police talking crazy. Now the Indians wanna fight. Lord, Lord have mercy. Here come the Indians with that old time religion. Big Chief Joe P. Julie Montana. Big Chief Jolly. Scream Coochie Molly. I love my culture. We stick together. We tougher than leather. We live forever. Represent your name. Represent your gang. Do your thing. My second line sang.
Come on, man. What y'all talking about? Ain't no squares around here. Yeah.
Indian. Indian.
We understand.
Indian. Indians coming. Indians coming. Indians coming. Indians coming. Indians coming. Uptown Indian. Downtown Indian. West Bank Indian. Mardi Gras Indian. Indian. Indians coming.
All right. Me shalom. Y'all have a good night. Man, Shabbat shalom. Y'all enjoy the Most High's and his man, just his words, man. Just grab y'all the Psalms and just curl up with a good book of that Psalms, man, and know that everything is all right. Me shalom. We'll see y'all Monday night.